Engineers at Kennedy Space Center have been hard at work preparing the Space Launch System Artemis I rocket for a trip around the moon. Since resuming work after Hurricane Ian, teams have extended work platforms around the SLS and the Orion to access the exterior and access the interior components of the rocket. Exterior inspections will note any foam or cork from the thermal protection system on the rocket or spacecraft that might need to be repaired in the future, and teams will replace the flight batteries for the interim cryogenic propulsion stage and the boosters, as well as the batteries for the flight termination system in the boosters and core stage before the flight of the SLS rocket. NASA is targeting the next launch opportunity for the Artemis I mission on Monday, November 14th, with liftoff of the Space Launch System rocket carrying Orion spacecraft during a 69-minute launch window that opens at 12:07 a.m. It's an early morning launch, and these are beautiful because it lights up the whole sky. You'll be able to see everything at 12:07 a.m. That's when it starts, but they have 69 minutes in case they run into some problems for this launch. And Artemis I is an uncrewed mission. So that means nobody's on board of this rocket, but they will have a lot of scientific instrumentation that will go around the moon. They'll be launching from Florida and they'll be landing in San Diego, off the coast of San Diego, actually. And that will be happening at about 25,000 miles per hour. They're going to be coming back into the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, skipping off the top of the atmosphere, dipping back in, and then they'll be landing softly at about 15-ish miles per hour by the time they hit the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego. So this is an important mission because the Artemis II mission that's coming up will be sending actual people around the moon. And everything that they collect here, all the data that they collect during this first mission will be going into the Artemis II mission to keep these astronauts alive while they go outside of the Earth's atmosphere, go around the moon, and come back and also splash down probably off the coast of San Diego, which would be beautiful because San Diego is awesome. And the Pacific Ocean out there is a great place to do it because it's pretty tranquil. The launch will be in 2024, but they're also sort of fluid in that case because it really depends on what the hardware does for the Artemis I mission. They're going to be using some of the same hardware from the Artemis I mission, so they're hoping that everything survives the trip back through the atmosphere and back down to Earth. And if that's the case, if this actually works, then this unproven flight hardware will be proven and will be flying with the astronauts on the second mission. And on the third mission, people are going to actually land on the moon. So the Artemis I mission, Artemis II mission, super important. And inspections that are going on right now, and also the engineers that are on board this rocket right now that's working to get it back to the pad, these people are super important to get it back out there and to get these people to launch around the moon. And NASA right now is doing routine maintenance on the rocket. So they're checking everything before it goes back to the pad. And it's going to go back to the pad Friday, November 4th. And when the rocket gets back to the pad, that isn't it. They still have a few days left to test the rocket. Make sure that it's ready for the flight. Make sure the ground systems are ready as well. So not only is the rocket important, but everything on the ground at Kennedy Space Center is important, or just as important, I should say, for the launch of this rocket. They have to make sure that they can fuel this rocket properly. So they'll be doing tests about that, and they'll also be doing some testing of the ground systems. Other than that, water suppression systems, make sure every valve works, make sure every hose works, make sure all the electronics work before they actually let this thing fly. Hey, real quick, if you have a second, please hit the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel, but it also helps you too, because YouTube will see that and they'll say, hey, you like spaceflight content, so we're going to push you out more spaceflight content in the future, not just from this channel, but from other spaceflight channels that you might not be subscribed to, that you don't know about yet, but they could have great content. So it's going to help you more than it's going to help this channel. If you really like it, hit the like button and also leave a comment down below when you think SLS will actually launch. So let's talk about the Artemis II mission for a little bit, because Artemis I is going to build the Artemis II mission, so to speak. And the Artemis II mission plan is to send 4 astronauts in the first crewed Orion MPCV spacecraft into a lunar flyby for a maximum of 21 days using the Block 1 variant of the Space Launch System. So what that means is that this mission will be a multi-translunar injection, which also means multiple departure burns and it includes a free return trajectory from the moon. So basically, they're going to be coming down, like I said before, off the coast of San Diego, something like that. They may change that though. That may be changing in the future. So just they have that as a plan, but possibly change it to something of the Pacific Ocean is what the planned landing site is. But it's probably going to be the Pacific Ocean because they know what's going to happen with that from the Artemis I missions. The Orion spacecraft will be sent to a high Earth orbit with a period of roughly 42 hours. And during the time, the crew will perform checkouts like they normally do on an orbit around the Earth. When they go to the International Space Station, they'll be doing similar checkouts for the Orion spacecraft before they actually go to the moon. So they're going to be doing support systems, life support, cryogenic propulsion system checks. They're going to be doing everything before they go around the moon. And this is important because you can't do a 21-day trip around the moon without making sure that everything is right before you start this launch. Because if something happens midway, you can't just fix it sometimes. There's nothing to do most of the time. There are workarounds, as we've seen from the Apollo programs, but this is an untested system. It will be tested with the SLS-1 rocket launch for the Artemis I launch, but this will be the first time that 4 astronauts go around the moon. And it's about a 10-day mission. So if they have a 10-day mission fly around the moon, it's about 7,400 kilometers, just 4,600 miles around the moon. So these people will be in this pod for a long time, 21 days. And if anything were to happen in between the Earth and the moon, this is going to be a tough one. So they have to check everything before they go around the moon. They're going to do basically the same mission as the Artemis I mission. They're going to go around the moon, take basically readings for around like what's going to happen to people as they're orbiting around the moon. Because the stuff that we did during Apollo, well, a lot of it's lost to time. A lot of the science and a lot of the engineering, a lot of the education from that time frame is lost because they didn't keep good records of it, unfortunately. So now we have to go back. In the Artemis III mission, which is a few years after the Artemis II mission, that's when people go back to the surface of the moon. And that's going to be a huge mission. So they have to do all the proper planning with the Artemis II mission in order to get to the Artemis III mission. They're building upon every single mission. So the Artemis I mission now, that's going to be happening next month, it's going to be building to the Artemis II mission, which will be building to the Artemis III mission. And then Artemis 4, Artemis 3 people land, Artemis 4, Artemis 5, Artemis 6. That's where we're going to start building a base. We're going to be starting a colony on the moon, which is insanely cool. So if you like that kind of content, of course, if you like that kind of stuff, we'll be here for everything. So make sure to subscribe to the show, of course. That's what you do on YouTube, right? And give this a like, because I really do appreciate you. And I really do appreciate all of your support of the channel. Now, if you have been here for a while, thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. And I appreciate everybody who's taken the time out of their day to spend it here with me on the Space News Pod. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you soon. We have another video up here, an Artemis video up here about some updates. It's over there, maybe? Over there? I think so. And you can subscribe up here. If you click on my head, it's over here, and there's some other stuff somewhere. I think over here, over there somewhere, or maybe some other stuff. You can do the double guns. Yeah, use those things. Click on them. It'll help you out.